Hi Ricardo, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us here at the 2014 Basel Fair. It's going to be a really exciting year for Hublot. We'll talk about Brazil obviously a little bit later, but the first question I wanted to ask you is, I read something very interesting that you were saying. You were saying that obviously you identify China as a place of enormous growth potential, but you don't want to make the same mistake as other brands by essentially chasing the consumer by trying to cater to the perceived needs of that market. You would rather have them come to the brand in a real way, and that they will develop their own taste in a sort of international way. Please tell me a bit more about that.
Yes, I think that for us, Hublot, we have our own concept, our own message, which is the art of fusion in watchmaking, and we have our own development, innovations, product creativity, product design that is linked to this concept. So always mixing tradition and vision, so that making watches that connects you to the future. So China for us is a challenging market, but we don't want, to do a kind of creativity, to create Chinese versions of our models. So we prefer still to build the brand awareness first, to educate the consumer there, and one day they will really come to us and we will be successful. It takes time, we know it cannot be from one day to another, but we're in a phase of really building the awareness and making people understand what is Hublot.
Yes. It's very interesting because the Big Bang was launched in 2005, and so if I take, kind of look back at that era, there were a couple of other watches that came out that also had like a lot of impact at the time. Now those watches, the majority of them no longer have the same impact, whereas Hublot continues to be relevant. I was talking to Mr. Bieber and we were discussing, how do you continue to make a watch relevant? How do you continue to make it the thing that everyone wants, that people are interested in? What's the secret?
Well, first of all, is creativity and innovation is really part of our culture, and we try every day to find a new idea. It can be in a marketing concept, but it can be in a product aesthetic, or in a new material, or a new technical movement. And so that's really part of the culture of the brand. And the other thing is that we have always developed this brand based on the sellout, So we always believe that we must always control the possible consumption of our products, and we keep always the offer under the demand. I think this is also a key element to keep the brand really demanded, and people really want Hublot.
No, you're absolutely right. And I know I know you, but personally, I know you're a convivial guy. I love the fact that people who enter into Hublot become really kind of friends. And I think this, in some way, along with the creativity of the product, has allowed the brand to transcend being just a watch brand, but it's become kind of a cultural brand. If you look at everything from the guys from Depeche Mode to Kobe Bryant to Jay-Z to what have you, or even now Pele and all the World Cup guys. I mean, what is the component of Hublot that has allowed it to move beyond being just a watch brand and into sort of a lifestyle, cultural reference brand?
Yes, I think our marketing strategy has been to be very diverse, multifacets, and that's why I think it is quite innovative and different. And our idea is that today a consumer he can go to see a football game in London, or Champions League, or to the World Cup in Brazil. He can go to see a Formula One Grand Prix in Singapore, and be in Saint-Tropez for the summer, or in Courchevel or Zermatt for the winter. So we are multifaceted strategy, and at the end, Hublot is present everywhere where this consumer goes, and at the end he thinks that he feels that Hublot is part of his world. So that's, I think, the key element that has made our success in marketing and communication.
Fantastic. This year you have a watch called the Spirit of Hublot. Rectangular watch, very beautiful, very stunning, but we're using a Zenith caliber inside of it. At the same time, you guys have really ramped up the production of Unico as well. Do you feel as if, as a group, you can benefit from a lot of the sort of cross-pollination of movement competences, and do you think that's important?
I think it depends, on the product that we create. In this case, yes, it's a shaped watch, so we needed really a movement which is adapted to have something ergonomic on your wrist. So the El Primero movement is a bit smaller and more slimmer than the Unico movement. So we thought that was better and more pragmatic to go with this great movement. He has an incredible history. But what we have done is for us, we consider the movement more as a chassis, as a base that we have totally reworked and Hublotized. So if you look at the movement, it's not you don't really recognize it. So it's the base, and this is, I think, an intelligent collaboration between brands.
Meaningful one.
But there is not a real strategy behind. So it's more a pragmatical approach.
Yes. So this year is the World Cup. In of all places, Brazil, which is many people feel is a spiritual home of football, and Hublot is basically has the greatest platform to communicate the values of its brand and this lifestyle and cultural component of the brand. Tell me what can we expect? I hear you even have your own hotel.
Yes. So this year is the year of football for Hublot. Will be the official timekeeper of the 2014 World Cup organized in Brazil. So we will have always our fourth referee board with Hublot, so we will have an incredible visibility, even much more than probably South Africa, because Brazil is the country of the football. It's a religion there. And in addition, the difference between South Africa and Brazil, that we're going to activate a big operation within the country. So we will have an hotel in Rio de Janeiro. Rio will going to be our base. Why Rio? Because Rio is the iconic city of this country, with the Corcovado, Copacabana, Ipanema. So it's going to be fantastic. And we decided to take an hotel and to call it the Hublot Palace. So we'll have an hotel, 100 rooms. We will bring more than 1,000 people. We will have events every night going on. We have a terrace. It's really on Copacabana, the hotel. And it's going to be good. We will have visits from our friends of football. Pelé, of course, is going to come, but also the people from the FIFA, probably Mr. Blatter, maybe some players will join, of course. We will have. It's going to be really a great event. And in addition, we wanted to show that we are in football since now 8 years. We have been the first brand to enter the football world as a luxury brand. And we wanted to say to this world of football that Hublot loves football. So we have developed a new campaign called Hublot Loves Football with a photographer. We have taken pictures of our different partners in football, Mourinho, Pelé, of course, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus. And it's going to be a campaign that will be displayed from now on until the World Cup. And the symbol of this campaign is a ball that has been painted by Romero Brito, a famous Brazilian artist. And I think really it's a great concept for us. So we will, from now on, really activate all the World Cup to be really present during the World Cup. So for us, it's a huge year.
Amazing. What I love about Hublot is that you'll use the communication tools of today to reach the consumer of today. And I love the idea that you can have a guy who has money, but he's a musician, he's into rap or whatever like that. He may never think about buying an expensive watch. Or a guy who's really into sports, and he's got money too, but he never really thought about getting a luxurious watch. And suddenly, these guys are being turned on to Swiss watchmaking by virtue of the cultural reference and the cultural context that you're using. And in some ways, you could consider the whole world to be an emerging market for watches. Because as many people that have nice watches on their wrist, there's many, many more that can afford it and don't. Would you agree?
Yes, I absolutely agree. And that's really a good example that the Chinese are important, but there is not only the Chinese. In the world, the Brazilians, the Mexicans, the Americans, the Russians, the Georgians. So there are many guys that have money, but they don't have, they are not ready to buy a luxury watch because we don't make them dream. So there is the potential, and I think that for that we are really attracting new consumers to really come to the watchmaking, high watchmaking art, and I think our strategy in this sense is totally perfect.
Fantastic. Ricardo, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Pleasure.